Hey everybody, it's Mrs. Curtis. I am so excited to be drawing with you again today. We are going to be drawing an awesome sailboat picture today, and we're going to be working with perspective. We worked a little bit with perspective earlier in the year. If you remember our Pete the Cat drawing, we drew him really close to us, and then the house and all the objects in the background. So we're going to create a different picture using sailboats today. We're going to make it look like our sailboats are getting farther and farther away across the water, with our sunset all the way in the background. So we're going to have one boat that's close, which is our foreground. We're going to have one boat that's kind of in the middle, which is our middle ground. And then we're going to have one that's really far away that's in the background. And we're creating that illusion that because they are farther away, they appear smaller. We know all the boats in real life would be the same size, but creating that illusion that it's farther away so it looks smaller. All right, let's get started on this one. The first thing you need to do is make sure that you have a pencil so you can erase if you mess up. I'm going to work with a Sharpie so that we know that we can see it on the screen. But we're going to start about one finger above the bottom of our paper, so not very far. And I'm just going to put a little mark there to mark where that's at. And this is where at the bottom of our first boat is going to go. But before we draw the boat, we're going to draw kind of a wavy line to show that the boat is in the water. And you'll see how that works in just a second. So I've got that wavy line. Now I'm going to start to draw my boat. And I'm going to draw a curved line coming down, slightly curved into the top of the water. I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. I'm going to draw just a slightly curved line coming down into the water. Now I'm going to draw a line across. This one's going to be slightly curved again. We're not doing a smiley face. We don't want big smiles. We want just a small curve from the top to the other side like that. The next thing we're going to add is the sail on our sailboat. So we're going to make a line that goes up almost to the top of our paper. I would say about 2 fingers from the top. Then we're going to make it come over just a little bit and back down to make a nice skinny rectangle. We have the main part of the boat. We're going to add some sails. We're going to start at this top edge here. And the sail is going to come down to just above the top of the boat. So I'm going to put a little dot here so I know where to end it. Okay, you can do that on yours too, because we don't want it to be way down here at the bottom of our paper. We don't want it to be way out here to the side. We want it to be just above the corner of our boat. Now I'm going to go ahead and make that line coming down, just a little bit of a curve to that point. We can bring that back in to finish up the sail. And we also want to show that the sail is not actually connected all the way to the pole. So we're going to make another curved line starting at that dot again. And this time it's going to come down to the other end of the pole. Now it looks like our sail is actually being pushed out by the wind. We're going to do the same thing on the other side. We're going to start out here. Our line or our sail is going to end towards the top edge of our boat. Big curve, straight line, and then that skinnier curve or little curve on the inside. So that is our first boat. Now, this one is nice and big because it's close to us. Our next boat is going to be in the middle ground. So instead of being in the front, in the foreground, we're going to start with this wavy line about halfway up our paper. So I'm going to come over to the side, and you can do it on the right or the left. It doesn't really matter. I'm going to go ahead and do mine on the right. About halfway up, I'm going to create that wavy line for where my boat's going to sit in the water. And I'm going to go through the steps again to make my boat. This time it's going to be smaller. So I'm going to have that line coming down into the water for the bottom of the boat. We're going to go across. We're going to make that pole, and the pole is going to go up almost to the top edge of our paper. Over, skinny little thing. I'm going to mark where the bottom of my sails are going to go, and I'm just going to mark both sides. We're going to go from here, out, back in, and then that small curve line right there. Do the same thing on the other side. Out to our dot, back in, and make that small curve line. And that is our second boat, and it's farther away or higher on our paper, so it looks a little bit smaller. Okay, last boat is going to be way up here in the background. It's going to be pretty far away. So again, we're going to move up some more. We're going to make that wavy line. We're going to start to create that boat shape, coming down, going across. I'm pretty high up, so I actually think for this one, that pole is going to go right off the edge of my paper. If yours is pretty close like that, you can make it go off the edge too. Mark those points. My sail is kind of off the paper too. Oops, I missed the point. And then that thing. And those same steps, again, to make your sails. Okay, so now we have a boat that is really close to us. We have one that is in the middle ground, a little farther away, and we have one that's really far away. Right now, we don't have a horizon line. So our next step is actually going to be to add the horizon line. And we want the horizon line to be way up high to show that it's a distance away from us. So I'm going to actually start kind of in the middle of the sail from the small boat. And this is going to be my horizon line. I'm going to go straight out to the edge of my paper. We also want to see the horizon line in between the sail and the pole here. So right in here, it's just a little tiny line, stopping at the pole and then starting over on the other side. We're going to show that horizon line. And we're going to go all the way across, just like that. That looks pretty good. See how my boats have gotten smaller as they've gone back? The last thing we're going to add is the sun for the sunset. And I kind of ran out of room here, so I'm going to have my sun go off the top edge of my paper, and then I'm going to have it come back on like that. And that's okay. It can be cut off at the top. Or you could just make it a little smaller if you wanted to. Now, our boats are in the water, so the last thing I'm going to add are going to be the details. We want this to actually look like water, and we want to add some details to the boat. You don't have to use yours exactly like mine. From this point on, everything that you add is totally up to you. Have fun with it. You're going to make some designs on your boats. I do like to put a few more waves in my water. So just a few more to show that the water is kind of moving. Add a few of those. I also like to add the boards that my boat would be made out of, because typically my sailboats are made out of wood. So I'm going to add some lines or some stripes across to make it look like my boats are made out of wood. I could also add some vertical lines too if I wanted to. So maybe I have this kind of pattern going on my boat, make them a little bit different. And then something on this one. I'm going to leave that one just like that. The sails, a lot of times sailboats have really fancy sails. So let's think of some different designs and patterns to put on there. You could also put pictures. If there's pictures of characters that you like, you can put those on there, your favorite animal. It's completely up to you. I'm going to stick with lines and shapes, just doing some stripes, maybe some polka dots. But you get to decide what you want to add to your design on your sailboats. Do some polka dots on this one. I think I'm going to do some zigzags over here. Maybe just one big zigzag. Oh, that's kind of fun. I like that. I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. And the two sides of the sails don't have to match. You can see I made them different here. And this one's really far away, so I'm going to keep it pretty simple. I'm going to make it kind of a stripes from the corner. There we go. Okay, I've added all my details. You are going to continue to add details to yours. Have fun with it, make it awesome, and I will see you back here for the next step of our project. So finish these up and I'll see you next time. Bye.